Hey guys, Yuliya here. So our spring has arrived super early this year, and I wanted to make some kokedama with snowdrops that are blooming in the garden right now. So what I'm going to do is go outside, show you some flowers that are blooming right now, and I'm going to dig up some of the snowdrops so I can start on this project. All right, here are some snowdrops blooming under our Japanese maple. Originally, these snowdrops were somewhere else in the garden when we moved into this house. But I've been replanting them little by little, one clump at a time, into this circle here, and eventually I want to fill up the entire circle. I'm about halfway done, but I will show you a little later in this video how to replant these snowdrops, because a lot of people have difficulties growing them from bulbs. But if you have a friend or if you have your own snowdrops, you can divide them this time of the year. A lot of people are nervous about doing that, but it is actually fairly easy. So I will do that at the end of the video, but right now I'm going to find a couple of clumps that I'm going to use in my little kokedama project. All right, I have a couple of clumps here that made their way into the rest of the garden. I think that one will be perfect for a kokedama. Here's our clump of snowdrops, and I also got some moss from my outdoor moss farm, as you could see. And the next thing that we need is floral wire and some gloves. And basically, what I'm going to do is cover the root ball of these snowdrops with moss. But I actually think that this is a pretty big clump. I can make two kokedamas out of this. So I'm going to divide them just like this. Let's see, just like this. There's one, there's two. This root is not from the snowdrops. This is from something else. I'm actually going to cut it, try to pull it out. I think it's from the nearby shrub. All right, so what I'm going to do next is just cover the entire root ball with moss and just keep going around. You can use preserved moss for this if you don't have your own moss in the garden. It looks just as good. And once I got enough moss on the root ball, all I'm going to do is use a floral wire. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm just wrapping the floral wire around the moss to keep it secure. Need a little bit more moss here. Cover the entire root ball, including the bottom, with moss, and use more floral wire to secure it. There you go. All done. I'm going to cut it and just secure it. It doesn't have to be too secure, because this is a temporary installation. So it looks something like this. All right, now the second one. The second one is done too. So I really like these, but I think they could use something extra. And when I made these last year, I actually added a nest, just like I added the nest to the hyacinths that I planted up in the previous video. So this is the nest that I actually built last year for my snowdrops. And as you can see, it held up pretty well. I still am going to make a new one today, but if you have some shrubs or trees in your garden with branches that are pliable, you could just circle them around in the pot and make something like this. Use them in decor, maybe as a wreath as well. I think it's just adorable. Just like last time, all I need is a pot, and I start circling the branches inside, just like that. And birch branches around this time of year are pretty pliable. You could use willow too, and just keep lining. See, this is a dead branch, so it's not pliable, it just breaks, so that's not gonna work. You need fresh cut. This one is dead too. This one is okay. When you feel like you have enough branches there, just grab some floral wire and secure the nest. So I'm going to display them like this, or I could use any flat surface as well. But you're probably wondering, how am I going to water this? And it's fairly easy. You just use a saucer of any type. You put your Kokedama in it and you water on top and let it sit there for like half an hour or so. You can see it's like dripping from all sides. And you put it back in your display. All right, so while this thing is soaking, let's go outside and divide and plant some snowdrops. So this is the original area where I found the snowdrops when we moved in, and ever since then I've been moving them from here into the circle under the Japanese maple. But it is very easy. Do not be nervous. Just dig the clump up, just like this. And you either can replant the entire clump. You may lose some foliage in the process, it's okay. But you can plant this entire clump just like this, or you can also divide it. It's very easily done, like this. See? You can give this to a friend. In my experience, they definitely adjust to new garden setting better when you replant them in this state rather than bulbs. So let's go ahead and plant these. Actually, you know what? Let me show you. I can divide this clump again, just like this. The most important thing is to plant it in exactly the same depth as they were before. And since I'm here, I wanted to show you this gorgeous witch hazel, or Hamamelis amethyst. I think I show it to you guys once a year around this time of year, but it is just so beautiful. It has these purplish maroon flowers. I actually have seen some pollinators on it today, which is incredible for February to have a plant in the garden that attracts pollinators. And I can see this thing from my kitchen window. I actually use it in bouquets in the winter. This plant also has gorgeous fall color. I think people are sleeping a little bit on witch hazels. They are just such a gorgeous plant this time of year. Anyway, just wanted to show you. Back to the snowdrops. So here I have the snowdrop divisions, and I'm going to plant them right here to continue with my theme. Just dig a hole, and as I mentioned, the most important part is to plant them at exactly the same depth as they were before, just like this. Now, when these flowers are done blooming, it's even a better time to replant them, but do not be afraid to replant them even at this stage of bloom. Plants are a lot more resilient than we give them credit for. Oops. There we go. All done. All right, so it looks like this thing soaked up all of the water, so I'm going to put it back in its display. And you can pretty much do this with any small spring flowering bulbs. You can do it with the bigger flowering bulbs, but it is just a lot harder to cover a larger root ball. But you could do this with crocuses, scillas, even miniature daffodils that all will look absolutely adorable in Kokedama. And also I think this is easily transitioned into Easter by adding some eggs or maybe chicks. And after these flowers are done blooming, you can actually unwrap them and unwrap all of the moss and plant them back in the garden. They will live on, they will not perish, and they will last you for years to come. Anyway, I hope you guys give it a try because it's a fun and easy project, and it is just so good to bring some of the nature home this time of the year. It's beautiful, makes me so happy. Anyway, thank you so much you guys for watching today's video. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next one.